Okay, hi. So this is a typical shopping for the week for me. And many of you know I love the farmer's market. I live in Mill Valley, and the Marin Farmers Market every Sunday is phenomenal up in San Rafael. So every week that I'm in town, I try to go to that. And so, can you see this? Every week I get a tray of microgreens, and it's awesome because I can just bring the trays back the next week and get a fresh crop. And so I always have a tray of microgreens on my countertop, and they're really easy to care for. I probably water them maybe 2 times in the week, given just depending on how hot it is. So I have a little tiny kind of like measuring cup, and I just put maybe 2 cups of water in this whole tray, max, maybe less, maybe a cup, twice a week or so. If it looks like they're wilting, sometimes I'll spray them with a little mister too. But they stay alive all week, and you cut them and they keep growing. So it's really awesome. And I really feel there's no one diet that's right for anyone. And I talk about this in my book that's coming out in October, called Your Pristine Blueprint. And so it's really up to you to figure out the diet that is right for you. And it's going to differ according to where you are in your stage of life and how active you are, and just kind of, are you running marathons? Are you a sedentary office worker? Are you a teenager, or have you just gone into menopause? All these things are really going to factor in. Are you pregnant? Are you breastfeeding? So there's no one diet that's right for everybody. But what was right for me at this point in my life is a diet that's mostly vegetables with some plant-based protein and still some animal protein. I would ideally like to not have to eat animals, but I've tried it so many times and it never quite works for me. So this is what I do, and it's really simple, is that every week I will get, a few heads of lettuce like this gorgeous head right here, and sometimes I'll get, the big ones, butter lettuce type, or sometimes I'll get little baby gems, and then oftentimes I'll get a bag of pre-washed greens if I'm really in a hurry, or some fresh arugula, because it has a really different flavor. And so it feels like you're eating something different. So I get a lot of greens, and then I usually get a variety of other types of vegetables. So I usually will get red cabbage, and then a few different cauliflowers. So I have quite a few of these in the refrigerator because I like to do a lot with cauliflower. I like to dice it up very, very small, almost like cauliflower rice, and have it for breakfast, and it's good for dinner. So I do a lot of different things. I'll show you one thing that I do with it today. So it's always good to have a lot of cauliflower around. I usually have a few heads of broccoli and some kale, which I don't have out here right now. And then I like to get a variety of things to put in salads. So right now, lemon cucumbers are in season, so I usually have a good amount of these. And then peppers are in season. So right now I have some red and yellow peppers here, and carrots, which I don't have out on the counter. And then I do include, so then protein. Let's talk about that. So usually every week I will get a rotisserie chicken, and the smart thing to do, I've learned, is to debone it immediately and stick it in a container, because then it's ready to go for you. So if you do that, you won't waste as much, and it's so much faster to prepare meals. And actually my partner Mark is so kind because he often does this for me. We get home and like immediately he debones it and sticks it in a container, and it's just so sweet of him to do that. Anyway, I will also get fish from the farmer's market. So I usually like to have some smoked salmon around. This is one of my favorite types. This fresh smoked salmon, they literally smoke it on the parking lot of the farmer's market. And so it's fresh when you get it. It's so good. And then it's nice to have some lox around. So I'll get a different type of smoked salmon here as well. And then in terms of plant-based proteins, my favorite thing, is my absolute favorite thing, and I eat it for breakfast and for dinner and on salads for lunch, is Tofu. So this is kind of new to me in the last year, and maybe about a year and a half. And it's like tofu, but it's made out of pumpkin seeds. And it's phenomenal. I mean, most people will taste it and say, why do you like it? It does not have that good of a taste. But kind of like tofu, it will absorb spices, and it just has a really nice texture. One thing to know about this is that you can dice it up and you can cook it, or you can eat it raw. It takes marinades pretty well, but it will not last long once you've opened it up in the refrigerator. Once you've opened it up, it lasts about 2 days max, just FYI. The other thing I still eat is tofu. You know, it's definitely gotten a bad rap, and I think for somewhat good reason, because you don't want to overeat soy products. But I think if a person is doing it no more than twice a week or so, it's appropriate. It's a phenomenal source of protein. And again, you can do a lot with tofu. So I usually have tofu around at all times. And then I also like to have some, I don't do any dairy products except for the occasional hard Parmesan or something. But I really like the Miyoko cashew cheese. So this is the classic chive kind, and it's phenomenal mixed with the lox and different things. So the other thing I like to have around, so I would say I eat breakfast. Intermittent fasting is a big thing. It doesn't work very well for me. And it doesn't work well because I have to go see patients and be super focused until lunch. And I don't want to lose my focus. It's just people come they entrust me with their health. I don't want to be all spacey. So anyway, I do have to eat breakfast almost like proactively. And so about 2 days a week, I would say, I eat kind of a yogurt breakfast. And this is a great yogurt. I like this one. This is called Coco June. It's a coconut yogurt. And this one is not sweet at all. And that's great for me because I don't really like sweet things. This one here, I put maybe like a tablespoon in with the not sweet one. And this one just has a tiny bit of sweetness and vanilla flavor. And I'll show you what I do with that in just a minute. So I usually have a little yogurt around as well. And so then I try not to overdo fruit because it just doesn't work very well for me. And I really only eat a meal that would incorporate a little fruit maybe twice a week. And then maybe I'll have a little snack of fruit maybe about 3 other days, but not much else. So I tend to overbuy fruit because it's so pretty. But I'll usually get 1 basket of strawberries, some fresh blueberries at the market when they're in season. And then right now I can't help myself because we've got peaches and nectarines. So have those. At all times, I try to have avocados in the house because they are good for so many things. So I'll have, avocados in various stages of ripeness. And I've just learned that if you have too many avocados that are getting ripe at the same time, it's really good to put them in the refrigerator and they'll last longer. Okay, and then finally right now, I have some tomatoes and usually some lemons because it's good on a salad. So anyway, that's a good shopping list for the week. And the vegetables here do not represent all the vegetables that I consume in the week. There just wasn't room on the counter. So I would say there is no one diet that's right for everybody. But one thing I think stands true for most people is you want to try to get about 5 servings of vegetables in the day. And why? Because they're just so full of life. And ideally, we're looking to eat high life force quotient foods. And if you look here, at this spread right here, you can just sense the life and the vibrancy and the beauty of all the food here, the different colors and textures. That is what nourishes you. This is your opportunity to exchange energy with the field and different life forms in the field.